starter gym for fat people you spoke
Stop.
about.
That is such a mischaracterization of what I recommended. What I wanted, an hour a week at a gym where people who were out of shape could go and work out with other people in the same condition so they wouldn't feel embarrassed about going to the gym. You turn that into something very different, which is not what it was. This facility would be a rock climbing gym only for people at a certain subpar skill level.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience presented by Underdog. If you're watching this before Tuesday evening, there is a new promo going on at Underdog right now. So if you go into the lobby for game 1 of Thunder and Warriors, I think it's Thunder and Warriors. No, it's T-Wolves and Warriors, that you can play the extender boost. So if you get it on game 1, you get a 40% boost. If you continue to play it all the way through and it goes 7 games, you'll get up to a 100% boost at Underdog on your profits. You use code Mayo, you get your deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Play this extender promo and start cashing in every single time. Geoff Fienberg is on the line with me. We don't know exactly what we're talking about today. We'll figure that out as the show goes along.
That's okay. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's been a while since we've done like a full live real-time show, not a best of, with someone in studio with us right now. No, it's not Marty McFly. It is Tim Endicust.
Tim Endicust.
That is not my name.
Sweet vest.
Thank you.
You getting off the ship?
Yeah, no, whatever. I think it's nice.
Are vests? I've never worn a vest. Are vests warm?
They can be.
Like, are you wearing it for
warmth and aesthetics?
Back to the
I missed him.
Hi, Geoff. I missed you.
Yeah, I feel like Pat is the longest since we've spoken, like on content-wise. But I missed him.
Well, you'll see me in a month.
Yeah, it's true. Excited.
Everyone can see you in a month.
And they should come, because, like, this is probably not ever happening again.
That's
I'm
what Geoff and I
probably
keep
never
saying.
traveling again for one of these shows. Like, this is it. Like, it's taking... Geoff knows me, and you know me. I'm already at that point where I'm like, oh, my God, I've got to travel. I've got to do this.
I have all of that planned for you.
I know, but it's like...
I even got you a suite.
I know, but it's like... Folks, this is going to be the only one. So you better come.
I have been in your absence, or since we haven't spoken, I have been on this thing that I believe you and Cam, like same place, being able to ask you anything, buy Cam a drink. I feel like it has once in a lifetime vibes.
This is like Halley's Comet. You only get one crack to see it. So you best come.
We got people coming from Europe. Italy is the longest trip anyone is taking.
Okay.
To come see the show as of right now. Yeah, Italy.
Oh, I love everyone.
That's
great.
You're gonna be trying to like smoke a vape outside, and someone will be like, "Muscusi, Geoff."
That's cool. Maybe they're friends with Pazzola.
Hey, I came to see the Robert Pazzola.
There's a guy. He does have a super fan out in Italy. But wow, that's awesome. That's.
So come, because this is probably it. This is probably never happening again.
Unless we do one like Halifax at
and
my
even
house.
and yeah, like that's about it. That's about the only other opportunity you're gonna have. So like enjoy it.
Yeah, tickets are on sale right now. It's down in the description of this video and podcast if you want to come join us. June 7th in Toronto. You can really make a weekend of it because there's Jay's afternoon on Thursday, and then like the Canadian Open starts Thursday as well. So you can go see golf.
Right next door.
Oh, yeah. Just you throw. Well, we are actually our show is next to Skydome, so you could actually throw a ball to the Blue Jays game.
Yes.
You would have to throw 50,000 balls to get.
And
to
if
the
it's your
golf course.
40th birthday, you catch a ball at the Blue Jays game.
Our friend traveled to Toronto this weekend from Vancouver, Geoff, for his 40th birthday, and sits down at the Jays game, catches a foul ball.
I've never caught a foul ball. I've been to many, many, many Jays games.
You're not like that guy that Nando knew that had all of the foul balls ever.
Did you just go to Expos games and trip over them?
No,
Because that's
That guy's
the biggest fucking loser on earth.
that guy sucks. But now I feel like it's a situation where, like, I'd want to keep the foul ball, but if I'm not with my kids, like, I'm of an age where that ball is just going to like a kid.
Yeah, give it to a kid.
If you've had one before, to me, it's sort of like
You keep the foul ball.
I've never had a foul ball before.
Neither have I. I'm not going to keep it.
Oh, I think I would keep the foul ball. It's mine. Like, that's part of the miss. I wouldn't wear a ball glove to the game, but it's like, I don't know. It's not quite the same thing, but like if you've been to a million ball games like Geoff has, and you don't catch a foul ball, and then someone goes to one and gets one their first crack, it's like someone getting in an ace in their second ever round of golf, and you've been playing for 20 years and haven't had one.
I haven't had one. I've been playing
Not
for
only
30
have I
years.
not had one, I haven't been present for one. I haven't had one in front of me or behind me in a group. I've never been in the vicinity of an ace.
I almost had one on Friday, my first round.
I almost had one at Cabot 2 years ago.
That's true.
Like, I was
forgot about
within 6 inches of an ace, but I didn't have one.
Speaking of Cabot, CoolBet's doing a giveaway, like a Cabot giveaway. So if you go to like the CoolBet Twitter right now or my Twitter, you can find all the details of how to get into that. I'm going to try to sneak onto that trip.
Okay.
Maybe we can sneak you on too.
I'm already doing the one Cabot, and it's a lot of travel.
Oh, you're
It's
so.
you don't like going to. It's a 2.5 hour drive
Like-
if I'm driving.
Look, I'm extended as it is. I'm going to do the live show for
This is in October.
Mayo Media. We're doing. It's too cold, and like whatever. It's like
You can wear your vest.
I probably would need several layers, which I would be mocked for, because God forbid I dress in layers.
You dress in layers in the middle of the summer, and then you
greatest
complain that it's too hot out.
Well, it is too hot, so I can remove the layers.
That was the same logic a certain friend of ours
But-
had trying to run a race against me.
But I can take the layers off if I need to.
But you're not going to be cold. It's 30 degrees out.
Maybe I won't be.
Celsius.
It could get
Never
windy.
heard of someone seem so bothered, like inconvenienced. Oh, Cabot. Again, I'm going to that other trip.
Yeah, you get to play the two best golf courses in our country. I'm like,
Gotta do it
I
all-
don't know.
I'm already gonna do it this spring.
You already
and
got to
it's
do it. I thought we were going as like a fun trip.
We are going, but it's like I don't travel well.
It's a car ride.
That's traveling?
Yes, if I'm going more than like 30 minutes, I'm traveling.
Not true.
Okay, fine. Yeah, all right, fine. Unless you're going to Acapulco, you aren't traveling.
I've never been to Acapulco.
No.
Where in Mexico
How
is
is
the
Acapulco?
Pacific coast, I do believe.
But it's not like near Cabo.
I don't think, well, it probably is somewhat near it, but
Well,
I don't,
Cabo is on like the peninsula that comes
the
down.
Baja California peninsula. No, I don't think so. I think it's on the mainland. I mean, that's mainland too, but I think it's on like the principal part of Mexico on the Pacific coast.
Interesting. Geoff, Tim showed up early to the show thinking that he was going to be late. So Paul theorized that because he wasn't actually late, he was early, he went to go treat himself. Because when I showed up, he wasn't here.
Oh, he earned it.
I did.
So-
I didn't go to
Yeah.
treat myself.
So what did you do?
I went and got something to eat.
Where?
I went to Burger King, got one of their value cheeseburgers. It was pretty good.
What was on the BK value menu?
There's a bunch of good stuff on there, actually. There's the chicken nuggets, which I know Geoff thinks can like cure coronavirus. He said that before. I think the chicken nuggets are okay. They're not as good as McNuggets, but they're good.
They're horrible.
But they're not horrible. They're all right.
During COVID, I appreciated the stance that
They didn't know.
like,
They
I'm
didn't
gonna
make
be
you wear a
afraid of
mask.
some virus. I eat BK nuggets. Like I'm not going to be afraid of a virus when I have eaten BK
Well, no,
nuggets.
you weren't
and
even going to
survived.
wear a mask in most fast food places during the pandemic. So of course you're
No,
not
you're
afraid
not-
of those.
That's not true. But I did joke because I didn't make a bet at the Byron Nelson under 75-1 that my betting card was as disgusting as the BK value menu, Tim.
But you said you didn't have one.
But he did. He ended up.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Like I think the value menu is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay.
Get your fried pickles.
No, I never had the fried pickles. I think that's an interesting idea. I'm not against them, but I didn't have them.
I feel like most deep fried things with enough batter just taste the same.
I kind of think the same way.
Delicious.
It's kind of the one fast food place I don't touch. Like, do you have an app for them? Do you do that like the other places?
No, I don't go enough to Burger King to earn enough crowns or whatever. What? Why am I being laughed at? I don't go often enough to Burger King.
No, just announced. Adam Stanley announced this, Geoff. The Canadian Open will feature the professional debuts of Gordon Sargent and Luke Clanton.
Professional. Okay,
Cool.
they've turned professional.
They will be turning professional.
What
in
I remember
advance.
of Luke Clanton is that he hits at 5,000 miles.
And according to EPAT, he did the media thing today at TPC Toronto. He's like, it just bombs away.
I believe it.
Bomb it as far as you can.
I like Clanton and I like Potgieter because they hit the ball far and they're fun.
Potgieter hits it up. I'm shocked. Like, that's someone that Liv should have went after. A 20-year-old South African guy?
Well, he didn't make the cut at like the easiest golf course on earth,
No,
so
it's
maybe
too easy.
he's exactly the right person for that tour.
Yeah, Tim's out on Liv, Geoff.
I'm not out. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem like they're trying as hard as I'd like to see them try.
Well, I know we're early, but I feel like I'm going to be all in on Liv at the PGA Championship.
I like some of the guys there.
Bryson and Hatton, and I'm gonna
kind of leaning Rahm and Spieth right now.
I think Neiman is gonna have his first top 15. What hasn't he done yet?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
he hasn't come inside the top 15.
I'd like to
of
see
any
that,
major.
but like
I think for sure he's gonna have a good week.
I said
That's
to
just
Pat
my
earlier,
opinion.
my personal hope is that Spieth wins because it would be such a Rory thing to happen. Would be that for his career Grand Slam stuff to be completely wiped off the screen within a month. Now we're all talking about how Spieth just did the career Grand Slam.
It would be truly like magical if Spieth won.
But like, we didn't see a Triple Crown winner for like 38 years, and then American Pharaoh and Justify won very close to each other back to back. So maybe the floodgates are opening for the career Grand Slam. Maybe when we get to Oakmont, maybe Phil will dust off.
That would be,
and we'd have 3 in a row.
It would just be the year of Grand Slams.
Yeah, it'd just be the year of Grand Slams.
Is there anyone? There's no one else who's eligible besides those 3, right?
No one at the Open
Correct.
Championship.
It is a crowded group of really high-end golfers at 2, though.
Yes.
Like DJ, Rahm,
Colin,
Colin,
JT.
Brooks.
No, JT's not.
Brooks is more than 2. He's in a different tier.
You mean 2 total? JT has 2 PGA championships.
Yeah, like Brooks has.
sorry, I
Brooks
meant
has
like 2
5
majors.
okay.
Like sort of now that Rory's done this, it is now sort of who is going to pull away. Like Xander, Rahm, Colin, JT. I get DJ's in the group, although it doesn't feel like
Morikawa.
Yeah. Well, but to your point, like DJ is sort of someone that when you were telling me about Liv, like why you're sort of out. Like he's kind of the epitome of why you're probably out.
Yeah, I mean he's part of the reason. Like he's still talent-wise one of the best golfers in the world, and he just isn't performing.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
You just don't think that Liv
Hold
cares.
on,
Doesn't seem like it. The way they should, anyway. They have
DJ had a really good year 1 on Liv.
He
Didn't
did.
he dominate their first year?
Yeah,
Sure, but now it's year 4 of Liv, and he doesn't care anymore.
I get it. I get it. There's no like he
disappointing.
But I don't think he regrets anything.
Well, maybe he does.
I do believe he probably thought. He's also the sort of player, Pat, that when eventually something does happen, granted he'll be older, he'll be like grandfathered back, like open arms. Everyone be so happy to have him back.
I agree. He seems to be at the very top of the he left for Liv. He wasn't the guy who was like, oh, well, I hate the Saudis or anything. He just didn't say anything and he left and then no one heard from him.
No, he wasn't like, was it Paul Casey that was like, standing up on high principle and then, yeah. I think most of them will be accepted back other than Phil.
I think Phil will.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, he doesn't necessarily need to be welcome back. They can be like, hey, sorry there, Kisner, it's not working out.
Well, what does welcome back mean? Like, is he allowed to be a Ryder Cup captain? Is he allowed to be a President's Cup captain? Is he allowed to take his rightful place in the pantheon of golf? Will he be invited to hit the opening tee shot at Augusta in 20 years?
I would guess so, yeah.
Will he? Will he
Probably.
be one? At the Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah.
Of that, I
Augusta's
don't know.
Got nothing. Augusta and the Ryder Cup are different. I'm confident he'll do both.
Didn't Augusta ask him not to show up?
That one year, the year when it was all going down.
So I wonder, will Phil be allowed to take his rightful place in the history of the top 15 golfers of all time? I don't know.
I think people will forget about this in 10 years. And
maybe
I think that when we look back on it, people will give Phil a lot of credit for getting all these guys paid.
And he was, he was right about a lot of the problems that he was diagnosing, even if his solution wasn't quite as effective as he hoped it would be.
Yes, but he got everyone paid.
He did.
The thing about it, the thing that he screamed about, the problem I assume you're talking about is them and their likeness. Only one guy actually put that into practice.
Or just the amount of money they were making. Now players are making a lot more with these elevated events.
Yeah.
And, like Phil's idea sort of was a catalyst towards that too.
I agree. But yeah, Bryson's the only one who did anything with it.
Had the PGA, if their current format was the format back in 2021, nothing would have happened.
I don't think so.
No. Or certainly would have, it would have fallen apart very quickly.
Because, everyone's even pushing back against these signature events now.
Too bad. I don't know if everyone is. There's a small community of people that are pushing back against it, but the players aren't pushing back.
Well, a lot of it, there are certain players that are like, this isn't golf.
Well, you know what?
And spectators don't like it because it's a no-cut event. Like they just
But
want,
I also
they're basically
think-
like add 20 more people and make it a cut. Then
But
you're
the
still
majority-
getting the small field. You're still getting your paydays. You just can't come in last.
But I still feel like this is like an 80-20 issue, and the 20% of us are hyper passionate. And then there's this 80% Pat that doesn't even know what these elevated events are and mean. They just know when they turn the TV on the weekend, it's all really good names at the top.
But what
And they're, like,
what
happy
tournaments
about
do you
that.
get with all of the good players, generally speaking?
Memorial.
I mean, Scotty won Memorial last year. And he beat
API.
Morikawa down the stretch.
Yeah.
It was Morikawa, Henley, and Scheffler this year down the stretch.
But what's the
at
question
API.
you're asking?
That when you get these tournaments that have all of the best players, like very rarely do all the best players show up to play in any of these
Well,
events.
because they used to be WGCs and they used to all go.
Yeah,
to
but
those.
but even just think about Bay Hill. When Bay Hill used to attract, and they didn't even attract all of the good players.
No.
But very rarely did you get a leaderboard at Bay Hill that was like crappy.
Certainly before Mr. Palmer passed away, they had a much better
Yeah.
leaderboard. And Memorial's the same way. The Memorial, as long as Jack is still with us, Memorial's going to have a stacked leaderboard.
but
they-
it'll always
they also
be
have a cut.
elevated.
Of course it
they'll
will be. It's
come
Jack's
now because
tournament.
they'll be elevated, regardless of
Yeah, and now Genesis will be like that, right? You expect Genesis every year.
like
to be like that.
Lord Byron Nelson wouldn't be a dumpster fire if it was elevated. I mean, the course, that's a different conversation, but people would go to the event.
Sure. No, I agree.
Let's talk football. That's really why I wanted to get you here.
Sure.
How many times did you mentally prepare yourself for Sanders to be the Jets quarterback over the weekend?
Several times. I was ready for it. It just seemed like a Jets thing to do. But the more they passed on him, I was like, I guess they really don't want him. Like, I thought second round would make sense, third round, and I was like, okay, I guess they really are committed to not having him in the structure. So
I don't necessarily think it was about him, that you just hired a
Aaron
new
Glenn.
GM and a new coach. You can't have Dion being like, they should fire this guy and make me coach.
no, you can't have that. You can't.
There's
That
a
would've
lot
happened.
there, but I also believe it's like a new guy that is he's got his culture, and when they do drop a quarterback in there, they want it to be much better, like everything. Like they want to be dropping a quarterback into a good situation when Aaron Glenn and this new regime makes that move for the quarterback.
Which they'll just
And that means using all these picks, these top 100 picks on players to do that.
in theory, but they probably won't make the right picks because they never do.
You were just bragging
Yeah,
about the
you're
guys
just
they
doing
drafted.
this. I'm not settled down. No
Settle
one's
down.
buying it, so just stop.
Okay,
No one's buying it. Just stop.
all right, fine. I'm not super stoked about this season.
You were just telling us about an offensive lineman who ran a 4.940.
He is an extremely fast offensive lineman, and it could be a real weapon if you pull him on sweeps or whatever. I think he could be a very good player, but I just my heart's been broken too many times for me to get too excited about what the team might look like 4 years from now.
And you're mad at the other Jets.
I'm not mad at them. Just like I don't need to go online and see people talk about, oh, what a great comeback from the Jets. Oh, what a great start. It's like, yes, it is. I'm glad for them. I'm glad for Huss and all the people there. But like, it stings a little bit when you hear people talk about how great performance the Jets are doing. It's not my Jets. It's never going to be my Jets. People don't talk about my team that way. It hurts a little bit. Imagine if there was a baseball team, Geoff, called the Chargers, who won the pennant. And we're like, oh, the Chargers are such winners. You're telling me that wouldn't sting just a little bit? Of course it
I'd
would.
probably like the shirts. I'd probably
All right.
Jeff have the
be
hoodie.
into it.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I'd have the hoodie.
He'd have the.
I remember,
Jeff, if Jeff was a pitcher, he would definitely have worn the warm-up jacket while he ran the bases.
I still get got sometimes. Well, back in the day when you'd go to ESPN or something, and you'd read like headlines, charges like players committing crimes.
Okay.
Would like get me. Sometimes they're like, I wish there was like a headline article about my team. Good ones only, of course. I'll make you smile about football, Tim.
Okay.
There's a franchise where I swear if I did the rankings right now, I think they'd be bottom 6.
Atlanta?
I don't know about a fan base who's excited. This is a team that like everyone who likes football, knows football, who you'd respect about football, acknowledges like no one knows. From move to move, there seems to be no rhyme or reason there. It is the Miami Dolphins, Tim.
They're blowing it up without blowing it up.
But a shame. It's almost like they don't
It's
have a
very
plan.
confusing, though. They're doing it the worst way you'd almost want to do it.
You're
And
right.
from
You are
one move
making
to
me
the
happy.
next, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Does make me happy to hear.
It seems like the Rams want to trade for Ramsey.
They should.
I saw
Why not?
McVay talking because they didn't draft a corner in the draft. They're like, yeah, let's get
They
Ramsey.
made Ramsey the highest paid corner a week after Denver paid Surtain.
Yeah.
They've already paid the money.
What a shame. You hate to see it. But it'll somehow work out.
Tua MVP year.
Yeah, sure.
If Tua's healthy, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll win like 8 games.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I don't quite understand what they're doing.
No, I don't either. But it's because they're
I mean,
neither fish nor fowl. They're not bad enough to really tank, and they're not good enough to win a Super Bowl. They're kind of caught.
That
Oh, well.
being said, what they needed, because they've been about star fucking. It was nice just as an observer. Their draft was about, socks and underwear. I saw D line and O line off the top. I couldn't tell you. I paid attention after that though.
See, there's a random Jets quarterback who retired. Jordan Travis?
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback for Florida State 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, who got injured in the AFCC title game and was the reason that an undefeated Florida State team didn't go to the BCS. I just think he was seriously injured, and I just don't think he was able to recover, I guess.
His brother was on the Blue Jays,
I did not know
Devin
that.
Travis?
second baseman. Yeah.
Really?
I did
His
not know
brother.
that.
Wasn't Devin Travis on the Blue Jays like 20 years
I
ago?
was going to say Devin
No,
Travis
like
been
when
around
you
a
were
while,
in
hasn't he?
Toronto, he was on like some of those good
Well, that
teams,
wasn't
and then they
yesterday.
traded him to Detroit.
That was 10 years ago.
That's when Pat was in Toronto. No.
Yes.
I mean, he was with the Blue Jays till 2018.
Okay. Still
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah, he's 34. I guess, yeah. It's
20,
possible
24,
for
yeah.
siblings to be 10 years apart.
It is. That's true.
Your guy, former Jets head coach, got fined $100,000. The Falcons got fined $250,000 for leaking all of the phone numbers, because as it came out too, that there was a bunch of guys who got prank called.
Several people. I didn't know that.
So
I only knew about the one.
Genty got prank called as it came out. He got drafted by the Raiders, and then he got a call telling him he was traded to the Cowboys.
What's wrong with people? I never found that funny. I thought it was cringy. It was awkward. I didn't like it. I didn't like any part of that. In fact, I couldn't even bring myself to watch the video. I couldn't. I was just like, I'm sorry. It's like the Scott's Tots episode of The Office. Like, I just couldn't. Like, I saw it once. I never need to see it again. Like, I don't even want to watch it the first time. It's like, oh, no, it's too much.
I would assume that if a bunch of players got prank called, that it all came from the same people.
One would have to imagine if the phone numbers were all in the tablet or whatever that was left on the table or something, right?
Yeah, they
That
probably
would
ended
happen?
up, just putting it in like their Signal group, so it was
I don't-
impossible to
I don't
trace.
know what that is.
Signal, that's where they leak the Yemen stuff.
Oh, yes. It's like a WhatsApp.
Telegram,
or
like
something.
that.
Well, it's encrypted WhatsApp. I thought it was just for buying drugs or cheating on your wife.
I've never
but
heard
no,
of it. I've never heard of it
that's
before.
not what it is.
Yeah, I never
felt-
heard of it
I've-
till that story.
That whole story, yeah, it didn't sit right with me. It kind of ruined the whole Sanders thing. Kind of ruined the draft.
You think so?
And I don't think it's Sanders' fault either. I just a pall was just lifted on the whole draft, and everyone just kept talking about him and when is he going? Why isn't he going now? And it's like,
It's the only story I can ever remember that made rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5 interesting.
yeah, but interesting for the worst reason. It's like, when is this car crash going to happen, sort of thing. Like, why isn't it happening? It's like there's other people there who are being drafted who I'd like to learn something about, but instead we're just talking about Sanders, and it's not his fault. And then he gets drafted in the worst circumstance imaginable, where they don't have any quarterbacks, and they have 5 quarterbacks, and they don't know what they're doing.
I actually think it's a good spot for it.
What's a good spot? When has the Browns ever been a good spot for
I don't know,
anybody?
but Stefanski has turned some of these, he got Watson forced on him. But every other quarterback they've had in that system has been coached up and good.
Well, but those
What's
quarterbacks
gonna happen-
were the first overall pick in the draft or the second overall pick in the
and
draft.
Flacco-
He'll be good enough. Where,
Flacco's a Super Bowl champion.
He's 38.
But he won a Super Bowl and went to the playoffs
Well,
a million
listen,
times.
you're going to dig up Joe. Joe Namath's not dead, is he?
No, he's
Get
not.
him in there. Stefanski will coach him up.
My point is, these people all have
Unfortunately-
pedigree or tons of success, not a 5th round pick.
If you're a Browns fan, you almost have to feel like this easily leads to worst case scenario. And what worst case scenario is he play, which I think there's a path to the field. I know there's another quarterback from the 3rd round, but they'll battle it out. Flacco will get hurt, or when you get to December and you got 3 or 4 wins, they might just be like, we're going to now like play these kids in the final month. All that's to say, the worst thing that can happen is if either of these quarterbacks are like good enough where they feel that they can be the answer, and then you ignore still needing to find a franchise quarterback, trying to build the team another way. And then in like 2 or 3 years, they're fucked again because they never actually had a quarterback.
They drafted somebody who's like the same age Brandon Whedon was, right? When they drafted him for Cleveland. Like
No, that wasn't Cleveland who
That's the
drafted that
Saints.
guy. That was the Saints.
No, but like Brandon Whedon was the quarterback who was like 25 when they drafted him.
I think he was 28.
And like the guy they just drafted from Oregon, like played with Justin Herbert, right? So he's got to be in his mid to late 20s.
Are you mixing? You're now confusing me because Gabriel and Shuck both played at Oregon.
The person
But
who was
Gabriel-
drafted by the Browns in the 3rd round, did he not play
That's
for Oregon?
Gabriel. Yes, but he didn't play with Herbert.
Yeah, he's 24.
And
Okay,
he's
24,
a young
24 is very old.
Yeah, but
Well, like Sam Darnold might actually be younger than
Yeah,
him.
but like how old was Joe Burrow? 24 when he came out?
23?
Because he's older than you would think now. I think that there is more of a shift towards, because quarterbacks can play so much longer now,
Maybe.
that you have a, and listen, he's a 3rd round pick. He's probably never going to play. I didn't realize he was a lefty.
Can you
Here he is.
imagine? Like, I'm sure you'll have some fucking meme, but I can't even put words to the thoughts of Justin Herbert's like 30-year-old backup with Brandon Staley coaching the team, like has more playoff success than Justin Herbert. I like that'll be a show when we get there in a year, 2 years.
I can't
if
wait.
ever.
We're like 18 months away from Justin Herbert having a nickname. We're not there yet. We're like 18 months away from Herbert having a
No,
nickname.
no.
He would never.
We're not
He
there
would-
yet.
He would
Rivers,
turn on
what are you
everyone.
talking
He would
about?
turn on everyone.
We're not there
You
yet.
don't even know, like,
Geoff,
yeah, man.
Geoff, we're like 18 months
No.
away.
How I stayed with like, what do you mean? On what basis? Because I turned on
Phillip
coach.
had
No,
sustained success.
Well, Herbert hasn't been bad.
He
Like,
hasn't had-
what
he's
sort of
0-2
what sort-
in the playoffs.
what-
Phillip lost his first playoff game the year I was supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, he did, but he also won several playoff games, and they were
After that, he didn't win his first one.
No, that's why I said you're like 18 months away.
How
from
many playoff wins did Rivers actually have? 3?
No, fuck off. We beat the Colts probably 3 times.
Yeah, you beat the Colts that year. You went to the AFC Championship game, then won. And
Yeah,
the
we
other,
beat
and the
them
other
again
Colts
the
game.
year Sproles in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we beat the Titans a couple times. We beat the Bengals with Phillip. We beat the Ravens with Phillip.
yes, you beat yes, you did. You beat Lamar in his first playoff game with Phillip.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, you're
Yeah.
ass making me count them. I don't
He's
know.
fi-
I don't
he's-
want to do this.
Rivers is 5-7 in his career,
I mean, yeah, they went to the
and,
title.
and Geoff just gave him 8 wins.
They went to the AFC title game, so he had at least 2 wins
That's
that
not-
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's 5 wins, 7 losses. Like that's 12. That's a lot. Of
Yeah. That's all the Jets too.
let's see.
Well, that Breeze also lost to the
yeah,
Jets.
that, only one of those losses is to the Jets.
Which one was the Nate?
Anyway,
Kagan
now
game?
Tim.
Actually, Nate Kading was
honestly,
involved
Tim-
in both those games. But
Tim, I honestly I thought you knew me. I thought we. Were
I just
buddies.
think if things go
Like, you
sour,
don't know
you
me.
will start to get frustrated with him.
No, he'll get upset at Harbaugh before.
I don't
Herbert.
know. We'll see. I think if he continues to break your heart, we'll see. We're like 2 years
I
away.
don't even blame him. I don't even blame him
Not
for
now.
like.
I mean, I would blame him for 5 interceptions. You know,
Yeah, that's a game that got crazy out of hand
because he
but,
kept throwing the ball to the other team.
Listen, the guy. Sure, if we do that,
I don't blame
again,
him for
these
the.
are-
I don't
wait,
blame him for the Jaguars game, but I
But
totally
hold
blame
on a
him for that
second.
game.
Like in the end, we're talking about 2 games that were he was an underdog, and small spreads, an underdog in both.
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
they were favored against the Texans.
No, they weren't. Texans were favored.
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
When we were all like,
we're
"What?"
still talking about 2 games. He's an underdog
2
in
games.
both. Phillip.
What if it's 4 games?
as favorites and shit? Yeah, 4 games. That'd be a lot of games.
If it's 4 games, that's 2 years from now, right? Like that's
Listen, I got people in my menchies that like to tell me all the time. Doesn't matter where, when. It's automatic. The Chargers are losing their next playoff game. So you're right. Maybe you're all right.
probably right. But I would say the same thing about the Jets if they ever got there, which they won't.
What's it been 15 years?
Yeah, like the Pope passing away, people were talking about. Yet the only team to not make the playoff during his papacy, the Jets. Thanks. Like I need yet another
But
graphic.
We got your guy
about
back.
their
Didn't we?
futility.
We drafted we drafted a running back, and I don't pretend to know much.
I like that
about
running
him.
back.
I'm not. That's great. I'm not thrilled we took
He'd
a
be a
running
first-
back in the first round, but he does seem like a guy that does everything, and by everything I mean his receptions footage that I watched
Yeah.
after we drafted
He
him.
could be like
and
Brees
his
Hall.
blocking. Holy shit! This guy picks it up, and Philip will stand in there. He'll Philip. He did stand in there. Justin will stand in there, and he'll get his head taken off to deliver it and die doing so. So, extra quarter second on that blitz pickup.
I think you should be excited
I'm
about
not
him.
thrilled. And there's been video, like the Eagles released their behind the scenes draft footage. And we were deep in trade talks. And part of me wishes we took a trade. Part of me wishes we took a trade. Well, but no, we took a running back. So we'll see. I don't
It'll
know.
probably work out better than the last time.
I heard that the Jets were trying to trade Brees Hall at the draft.
I mean, if you could, it depends what they're trying to trade him for, I suppose.
I doubt it would be for that much.
I was surprised that we didn't see any of like the veterans get traded at the draft.
People are worth less than we think they are in terms of
No,
trade.
but that's
It's
what I
not
mean.
fantasy
by,
football.
By traded at the draft, I mean like I don't know, Goddard for a fifth,
Yeah.
Brees Hall for a pick next year,
Okay.
all the Ramsey, like all these guys that we heard. I thought on the day 3, I thought, okay, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna see some veterans move today. Didn't happen. Not one.
Tucker got cut.
I saw that
For-
Tucker got cut.
Football reasons.
I mean, he was kind of awful last year too.
Well, it's not that he was awful. It's that he wasn't Justin Tucker anymore.
Yeah, like kickers are a dime a dozen if they're not fantastic at what they're doing.
Yes, and the only way that you can keep him, based on what's apparently been going on with him off the
He's
field,
got to be.
he's got to be the best.
95% of his kicks, and so he isn't. So
Look at this.
It was like when the Chiefs cut Kareem Hunt that time.
Yeah.
And when it got to Tyreek Hill, they were like, well, that's fine.
The best part about that story is it seems like everyone in town knew the story and been sending out sweet nothings about it in like little dribbles over the years. And finally, boom. They drafted, you said they drafted the kicker. I don't know, whatever. I'm sure the kid they drafted's awesome.
They drafted a kicker. They signed another guy, too.
the handwriting was on the wall. Then
So he's going to be on the Jets.
Do you think Tucker gets another job? Like
Yes.
a hand job?
Yes.
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Sorry, I'm not too, as much as,
He wasn't kicking well enough to bring him in.
yeah, but someone could
Why
bring
would you?
him
Why
in.
would you bring in that drama and those?
I don't
problems
wanna-
for a kicker who's not.
Well, I think it's that because it's Justin Tucker and he's a kicker, the off the field stuff.
The Chiefs already have a kicker, so who's going to bring him in?
Well, anyone who has a
What do you
shitty
mean?
kicker.
Lots of teams
Any team
don't
that
have
has a
No,
shitty
but like
kicker.
the Chiefs don't seem to care what your off-field problem.
Yeah, they're like the new Patriots in that
But
way.
no one else.
But
I think,
hold on a second. Was he? I'm not
Cleveland.
trying
There
to-
you go.
Yeah, they have like the old Chargers guy from before the
They have,
Dicker.
they have Hopkins, don't they?
Yeah, that's who I believe they have. Like Deshaun Watson, like made them do it against their will or was rude about it. Like, did he just like get them, pay for them, or did he like
I have
force
no
them?
I mean,
idea.
Tucker.
Ravens released Justin Tucker amid sexual misconduct allegations.
Okay, so I'm just saying if he just like
There can be zero
enjoyed
tolerance
them-
for that kind of stuff. There's zero tolerance for it.
Listen, Bob
No,
Kraft
there's a
got away with
difference
it. If he did what Geoff is talking about, I don't know what he did.
There's
I
I
don't know.
feel like there's a difference between like just like it being a hobby and enjoying them and like sexually assaulting or forcing the women. I feel like those are two different roads to potentially getting invited to other teams' camps and stuff. I mean, that's all.
I don't know if he'll get invited to a camp, but there will be a point of the year where someone has a terrible kicker
Maybe.
or a kicker will get hurt. And they're like, hey, who's available? Oh, although we saw Mike Vanderjagt get out of the league pretty quickly.
Yeah, kickers. Soon as kickers burn out and they're just not worth the headache, they're gone. Goodbye. There's a million other kickers.
Yeah.
There's 50,
I guess
there's
it is kinda
500
like
college
backup
teams every year
quarterback.
that have kickers. So you
It-
just draft a kicker. Pick up.
It is kind of like backup quarterback. Like he was so good. You have to be such a good kicker for you not to bring good vibes.
Gostowski was a great kicker, and then
You
he
shook
was-
his hand.
I wasn't with me, but he was gone within 2 years. When it's gone, it's over, and it's not worth having them anymore.
Geoff, your Leafs are up 2-0 already.
Oh my goodness!
How you feeling about that?
Very enthusiastic.
I was supposed to go, and then it turned into a whole disaster.
Imagine how exciting Maple Leaf
And
Square
then I
will be
couldn't
if
go.
we're down there for the live show and the Leafs are in
You
the
know
playoffs.
what? Maple Leaf Square actually is a good time because that's where
That's
the
where all
actual
the
fans
fans go.
are.
Yeah, because the Bay Street executives are all inside.
Yeah, it only costs like $300 to get into Maple Leaf Square, not 4,000.
They charge people to go out.
Oh yeah,
Oh my goodness.
it's a racket.
They charge. I did not realize they charge
Of
you to
course
stand
they do.
outside to watch a game on TV.
And the worst part is sometimes you have to that's where the subway exits as well
At Union Station.
at Union Station because you have to walk through to get to the like it's not what's it called? That's not the ACC anymore.
Scotiabank.
Same as the one here.
Yeah.
And then you can't go that way because Maple Leaf Square is going on. I went down a few times for the Raptors game.
I thought it looks like it's electric and fun. I had no idea people had to pay to stand outside to watch a big screen.
I don't think they make you pay. Like it could be like a couple bucks. It's like a party. It's like
Okay.
and it's just like for numbers. Like it's just for numbers. Like you need to have a ticket though, but it's like a street festival now. They sort of label it.
No, I get it. And I mean, like, I remember when the Flames were good and the 17th Ave was completely full of Flames fans. Like, there's,
I know, like,
there's something
Hustlers
authentic
always
about that kind
giving-
of stuff. Portage and
Hustlers
Maine would be
giving
crazy in Winnipeg, right?
And Hustlers giving away tickets to like the Winnipeg one. Like I think it's just a common thing. Like I don't think it's only Toronto. I just think it's they get so big and out of hand, and maybe it's like a safety concern that they just
Limit the numbers.
It's
doing
probably like a
something.
fire safety concern. But
I
I
can see
remember like when the Raptors were in the finals, there was street
Jurassic
parties-
Park.
There were street parties here.
Oh, yeah.
There was like 5 or 6 across Canada in major cities.
Yeah, that's great. Like, when it's authentic and real and, people are just showing up to have fun and what they're being ticketed for it,
Did his mic turn off again?
nope.
Oh, look at the Diet Coke that he's barely drinking.
We'll get into this.
Oh, is that a part of your grievances?
I got-
The labels?
No,
I
no,
see
that doesn't
those-
bother me. That doesn't bother me.
Oh, I'm so curious what bothers him.
There's a couple of sips.
So
But
did
like
you-
my hands aren't totally free because one has got a microphone and I'm trying to participate in the conversation.
doing a great job.
Thank
Before
you.
Before we leave football,
I have like 5 more football
Oh.
topics. But
Okay,
if you got one, go for it.
no, I just want to say, we really offended our boy Thor because he gave the Chargers an F. Like, how do you get an F?
You should
For
know.
being fucking terrible.
Yeah, like how badly do you have to do on someone like base someone's draft? Like what? Like you must have fucked up so bad. Done something like ungodly that like this will be 0 production F. So
like going to
I like
school at
Thor a lot.
Western. How do you get an F?
I did. Oh no, I only got 1 F, and that was in high school. But it's
Okay.
not fair.
Why
I'll
wasn't
tell
it
you
fair?
why.
Oh, he got an F for fair.
Okay.
No, once I say it, you'll give me some grace.
Okay.
I promise.
The dog
It's not
ate your paper. It's not your fault. The floppy disk got
So
lost.
I was part of where I live in Ontario. There was 2 graduating classes in 1 year, and I was part of the older leg of it.
The grade 13
So-
leg.
Yes, the grade 13 leg.
Yeah.
And that just like drove my neurotic Jewish mother like nuts for a couple years, thinking I would not get into university with this like extra competitive class.
Double group of people coming out of
I was a part of that class too.
No, we never had a grade 13.
No, but I was when you apply to university.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm applying
sure.
with the double class.
Yeah,
from
no,
Ontario.
okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And so I like there are a couple years I like jammed in another couple credit here. So but my parents wouldn't let me like go fast enough, like some of my other friends, where I had like a full semester off. And I had a morning class. I was already like up on my credits, and it was like first thing in the morning when I pretty much was like already graduating in my last semester of school. And I don't know. Yeah, I should have just been a spare, but it wasn't, and I treated it like one. And my teacher was not. The wheels were not getting greased hard enough on my end.
What was the class?
It was kind of it was like it was
Gym?
a speech class,
Like
like
Toastmasters?
like a debate class.
And now you do this for a living.
I know, but I didn't go. It was a good. I thought it'd just be a breeze, like an easy one, but it was like I just you gotta go.
The Packers have brought up again to ban the tush push, but they're not doing it as the tush push, is that you can't push anyone
I agreed with that.
on the field anywhere. But I started to think about it because it's always the Packers who bring the stuff up. Do you think they bring it up because there's no owner?
No, I
And
don't.
like
I don't
it's
think so.
easy for them to bring, like they know it's unpopular with all the other owners. The other owners don't want to make a stink about it and get all the heat on them, so they make the Packers do it.
I thought of that.
I actually had not thought of that. I'm not sure if I'm just.
It's
hearing it
always
now.
the Packers.
I'm not sure if I agree
Yeah.
or disagree with that. It's an interesting idea.
But why is it always
they-
them?
I don't know. I don't know if it who makes those calls, whether it's their managing president or who forwards these things.
Yeah, like Mark Murphy, Ted Thompson have been
Yeah.
the guys there in our lifetime. It's
I certainly agree with it. You shouldn't be allowed to assist a runner in any capacity. If you can't pull them, which you're not allowed to do, why should you be allowed to push them? Seems like to me arbitrary to allow people to be pushed from behind, but you can't pull someone in. So don't allow the runner to be assisted.
If they get rid of it, how good are the Eagles?
They're still fine.
They're good, but like that's their big advantage.
Well, but like in basketball, they got rid of the zone defense, and in baseball, they got rid of the shift. So like you adapt. Nothing
It's
lasts
gone.
forever. It will
It
be
is
gone. It should be.
if you follow the league closely and the minutia, like anytime Roger Goodell like delays a vote, he knows like I'm not presenting this because this vote cannot lose. This vote only happens when I know I have it in the bag.
Yeah.
He's done this before, and he pushed it down the road because he wasn't confident in Palm Beach last month that he had it. And he, God forbid, he votes and it doesn't go through. That gives that emboldens the other side, and maybe it loses some of his leverage. But sort of like how, politics is a thing and people whipping up votes. He knows exactly what he's doing.
A competent
And when
Congress doesn't bring up a competent Speaker of the House in the U.S. doesn't put a bill on the floor to be voted for if they aren't confident they've got the votes for it to pass.
Yeah. So he's working it and he's going to get it and he's going to make promises to people, be it drafts or whatever. I'm sure it's gone. It is as good as gone. I don't say this to agree with it. I say it because it's just clear what's happening to me.
Did you see Goodell with Trump when they announced the Washington as the draft today?
I did not see that.
So they announced Washington as the 27. Trump announced it. So it's going to be in Washington.
Okay.
But then he started also like railing against the movie industry and tariffs. And Goodell's just like standing there.
Well,
like,
you know what? If you stand next to him in a live microphone, you get what you deserve. Because he is not going to stick to the script. He's going to talk about whatever comes off the top of his head that afternoon. So, if you ride a tiger, these things can happen.
It was just like, yeah, Goodell, yeah, we're going to be doing it. Trump got to announce it. And like Goodell's looking all happy. Then he just starts going on.
No, if you're going to use him for that, you need to have him have a pre-recorded thing that he just says on TV and then is gone.
What else do I have here? Kittle signed, but that happened ages ago. That's really it for football. What did you think of the draft?
What did I think?
I had no feel. I was away for the draft, but I just didn't care.
Yeah, I wasn't super excited about it because I don't think there's a ton of top tier talent that gets you super excited. I mean, the draft is always it snuck up on me very quickly. I blinked, was like, oh my god, the draft is this week. I didn't realize that. For whatever reason, the timing didn't line up.
It felt because it felt like the Masters was pushed back. It felt like the tournament was pushed back.
Yeah,
it
it
felt
was
like
right
there
after
less
Easter
time.
too, because Easter was super late, and so it just seemed like it arrived a little unexpectedly for me.
Agreed.
And I enjoyed it like I enjoy all drafts. It's good to it's one of the nice things about the NFL is that it is out of your life for 7 months of the year, but every now and then it comes back for a day, and you're like, oh, that's awesome, I love this thing, but then it goes away again, so that you aren't inundated with it. And so that's why the draft is so great, because it's like you haven't thought about football in 2 months, really, not much. And then boom, it's here again. It's the mainstay, and then it goes away again. That's fun.
That's interesting you say that, because it felt like a few years ago that the NFL was trying to copy the NBA model, because the NBA tries to be doing things
Around all the time.
12 months a year. And it felt like the NFL was limping into that. Like they tried that out with here's free agency and here's pre-free agency. They still do all that stuff, but it feels like it's now free agency is 2 days.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to think. It felt like, because we're seeing the downtick in interest in the NBA overall. I think that's part of it.
Too much
It was too
product.
much.
There is such a thing in anything as too much content. There is a line where you want as much, and then you can go past it. Right? They were a point of diminishing returns.
And I think that's going to happen with the NFL with all these extra like Christmas games.
It's the international games that are just not going
I don't mind the international games still happen on Sunday, though.
but they are on Sunday mornings, and that's
Sure,
the problem. If
I
they were
don't-
being played at 2 o'clock in the 2
For
o'clock
now,
slate, which
for
they used
now
to be,
they're still on
that'd be great.
Sundays. For now, they're still on Sundays.
Except in opening
I
week
would-
when you got a game on. No, it's once a year.
No,
but,
I don't mind it
you have a
opening
game
week
on
because people are
Friday
Opening
and
week's
Thursday
fine.
and
You're
Saturday.
jazzed. You're
Opening
so
week is
jazzed
good.
for football.
Yes,
Opening week is good.
But now they brought Christmas Day into it, and now for the rest of time we're gonna have. This didn't used to always happen, but now it's always gonna happen because they made it happen on a Wednesday. We're gonna have Christmas games in our life every year, and we're gonna have this and that. And what made Thanksgiving so awesome was that you had a 2 or 3 game stretch, and you never got that through the year on a non-Sunday. Now you got it, and so it diminishes Thanksgiving a little bit, and it diminishes.
I don't think.
The bread and butter of the NFL is Sunday at 2, Sunday at 5. That's what gets people into the sport. It's about having not just your game on, but a plethora of other games on. How often does Geoff come on here and complain that there's the Chargers and one other America's game of the week on at 5 o'clock on a Sunday? It's the whole point. You want as much football in
Other
a short
people
period.
complain, not me.
What's the best
I like
part
that.
of March Madness? It's the Thursday and Friday of the tournament because there's 1,000 games on all at once, right? So the more solo games you have, because the NFL product ain't that
Yeah, but
great
the holiday
sometimes.
solo games are fine. People are going to love the Christmas.
Sure, but then you
Day
add that,
thing.
and you add 400. What is it, 6 or 8 international games? You add that plus Christmas, plus Thursday nights, and
Black Friday.
and Black Friday. It's like,
Wait, well, if you can have
All
a
right.
Black Friday game on Black Friday, why can't we just do Friday games every week?
yeah,
I'll
I think
agree
Is what
with
what
you.
they'll start to get.
this
to.
is what I am worried about.
No, they can do the international games on Friday because then they don't break the rule that
Well,
they can't go against
it had
the,
something to do with
college
Well, no, it's got to do with the broadcasting.
antitrust law. Or
Yeah, but the
something.
broadcasting's part of that, though. You can't have it after a certain Friday, and then you can't have it again until after a certain day in December. Broadcasting the game. So, but nonetheless,
But
it's too much.
I will agree with Tim when these international games stop being Sunday morning games. Then I'll agree with Tim. But for now, I don't really mind.
But right now we
it,
have 2
and
or 3. But if it was every week, how awful would it be if every single week football started at 8 a.m.?
I'm pro. I like waking up and there's football
Because
on.
it happens a couple times a year.
Yeah, but
there's
I-
a specialness
it's
to
gonna
it.
be
but
happening
I would
every
like
week,
I would
though.
like it every week because I like going to the gym. I like
You
watching,
say that.
but that's what I like to do. I make it a part of my routine, and it's a game you really don't have to pay that much attention to. It's always 2 shit teams.
Well, but it's not going to be eventually if you have 12 games a year like that. You're going to have a
I
couple of
don't
excellent
like
games.
it.
Do you really want a pivotal game that's going to decide home field advantage or the playoffs played in Valencia or something? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want them played in Lambeau Field. I want them played, in Cleveland Brown Stadium, in the Ralph. That's where those games ought to be played.
I don't think you'll see any of them in December.
The only thing I'll say is I do agree with you, Pat. I like them, but as our viewers know, at least of football shows, and I'm not the only one, but I have a vice for these standalone football games. So then it's betting 8 a.m. first TD because the game's alone and things I don't do in any other game. Standalone football games are what probably keeps me from being a profitable NFL bettor.
I had one more NFL story. You've been tracking Abdul Carter trying to get numbers from the Giants.
He wants Phil Simms'
He
number,
wanted
right?
LT's number. And when Gronk is going on
Can't have
TV
LT's
and
number.
mocking you, you've done something wrong.
Phil Simms is different. He played a different position, a different side of the ball.
And Phil Simms offered him his
That's
number,
fine.
and
Yeah.
then his family outvoted him to say
Also,
no.
I don't think I knew what Phil Simms' number was. Off the
11.
top. I do now. But
Why
if
would
you would,
Abdul Carter want to be 11?
if you would ask me, that's what Mike Parsons wears is 11.
Yeah,
If you
it's like
asked
a
me
Penn
off the
State
top of
thing.
my head, though, what number did Phil Simms wear a month ago? I don't know that I'd have come up with 11. But
Wanting LT's number is crazy.
as a linebacker for the New York Giants, that's like being drafted by the Dolphins. I'd like to wear number 13, please. What? What are you doing? Anyway, no. I mean, I appreciate the confidence, but no, you can't do that. You're setting yourself up for unfair expectations.
I wonder if he's any good.
He may be.
He's supposed to be.
I like what the Giants are doing. I think it's so super smart to build your defensive line as a behemoth. I mean, how did they win 2 Super Bowls? Because their defensive line was unstoppable. So that's really smart. I think they're building in a very intelligent way, given that Philadelphia and Washington are both, you and I are both on team. Washington's not going to be that great this year,
Well-
but nevertheless, they have a lot of talent. And so if you're the Giants, you've got to play the percentages, and it's build in the trenches. And that's what they're doing.
It's not so much that I think Washington's going to be bad. It's just I think they're going to be wildly overrated.
Well, yeah, they are not going to be an NFC championship caliber team this year. They're going to be like 7 and 10, 8 and 9.
They've made some moves since free agency that I did like.
Okay.
They have to try to capitalize on
I
this.
remain a little more skeptical.
They have to, Sheringham, getting Debo is one thing, but
Useless. I don't think that makes a difference.
it'll help. It's better than having Noah Brown. Then.
I'm not so sure at
It
this
is.
point.
I mean,
We'll
he
see.
can't catch. And he's
Debo doesn't play.
Well, neither Noah Brown.
But Debo doesn't play.
And then they go and they get Tunsil. If they can improve their offensive line, now you're looking a little bit better.
Yeah, but Tunsil's on his 4th team now or something.
He was traded for 2 first-round picks the last time.
That wasn't yesterday.
No. I mean, offensive linemen
We'll
tend
see.
to age
We'll
well.
see. You make a fair point about the Commanders. I'm just saying, I don't know. They overachieved last year, and I think things could go back in the other direction.
No, I'm with you on that. It's just I don't think that they will. Even if they're better than they were last year, it's just very unlikely they get to where they got
They
last
got
year.
really lucky in a lot of games last year.
Yeah,
Games
if Baker doesn't fumble that ball, they lose in the first round.
Yeah, or like if that Hail Mary doesn't get caught for a touchdown against the Browns, they probably don't make the playoffs.
The Bears.
Yeah, it's the Bears. Sorry. Like there's all kinds of now. Look, these things happen, and that's great, and that's football, and weird things happen all the time. But it wasn't the most sustainable way to build things. We'll see.
The weather is warming up, which means it's almost time to get back onto the course full time. And if you really want to up your game, you can take the lessons, you can improve your game, but if you're stuck with those old clubs, nothing is going to change. That's why you need to head on over to your local PXG store for a fitting, because they make the best golf clubs. Period. I just had mine out for the first time on the course at Pinehurst about 3 weeks ago, and it was awesome. The sound my irons make. I have the Gen 7 irons. They have the chrome top, titanium back. They're awesome. Biggest improvement for me has been the Black Ops driver. I'm carrying the ball about 15 to 20 yards longer off the tee. I'm not a huge hitter. I was about 225, 230 carry off the tee with my old driver. Get the new Black Ops driver, carrying it 245, 250. Hell, I had a 270 drive carrying bunkers down at Pinehurst number 4 on my last day. Once I was really starting to heat up with my clubs, it was amazing. It was so easy to get the fitting done, and it was the fastest way that I have found to improve my game to a point where I'm ready to tackle any course at this point. You can too. And for a limited time, you can save up to 20% on your entire order. Head on over to pxg.com/PatMayo. That's pxg.com/PatMayo to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/PatMayo. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Well, that brings us to the midway point of the show, probably. Which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner.
Okay. I mean, I have several things. We don't have to talk about them all.
Are you saving some for the live show June 7th?
I can. A small thing.
You should.
People can just shout things out, like, whatever. Here's what's frustrating me, and it's gonna sound silly, and I already hear it. I'm so annoyed right now by like gas station deals. Like when I go into the gas station to get a Diet Coke, it's always 2 for $5, and it's 2 if I want a Red Bull. It's like 3 for $7 or something. I just want one.
Okay.
I just want to buy one, but one is like $4 and 2 are like $5. Or if I want to get one Red Bull is like $4.99, but 3 of them is like $7. But I don't want 3. I only want one. Like I have lots of DC at home. I'm picking one up because I'm on the go and I want to drink one, like where I'm going somewhere. Like, why are they charging? I mean, they make it sound like it's a great deal. Oh, you get 2 for $5, but like I don't want to. I just want one. And I feel I have to then spend a little more than I wanted to and buy more product than I wanted to when all I wanted was a single Diet Coke. And I'm not going to spend $4.09 or whatever on one Diet Coke when I could get 2 for $5.50. I'm obviously going to buy the 2, but I don't want to buy the 2. I just want one. And it's like I wish instead of having all these great promotions that I don't think most people are interested in, just have a good, normal, standard price that I can buy one with. And I'd be much happier. And I can't be the only person who oftentimes will buy multiple bottles of water or multiple Gatorades or multiple Red Bulls or multiple Monsters, not because I want multiple Monsters, but because I feel obligated based on the price point to have to buy multiple ones.
You know something funny?
I love you so much.
I'm with
Love
you on
so
this.
much.
Thank you. Do you agree, Jeffrey, or do you think this is silly?
Like, you are right, but you just need the
Will-
gas station to have a storage locker for you to put it in.
No, it's not that I won't drink them. It's that, like, I don't drink a lot of energy drinks. I just don't. But occasionally I want one. And if I want one, I only want one. And I really can't buy one. You got to buy two.
No, okay, so
I have two Monsters sitting here because I was forced to buy 3 for the $7.
Precisely. And you didn't want to buy 3, did you? You wanted to buy 1, or maybe you wanted to buy. How about instead of putting these deals are always on too. They're not like once in a while. They're every single time you go in. These deals are always on. They're not even deals.
But your
in the
value algorithm does not allow you to just purchase one. Like,
Never.
You're just.
Why
you
not
wouldn't.
just
You
have?
couldn't.
If it's 2 for $5.50, why not just sell each one for $2.25?
Well, because
that's not how
they
it
do
works.
it.
They're-
They push
they're
product.
moving
But I think you
product.
would sell more product because more people would
They
buy
know
one.
exactly what they're
'Cause
doing.
people don't want to.
And it works.
Okay,
I
but as a
gotta say.
consumer, it frustrates me.
So my problem isn't the deals. I really don't give a shit about the deals. It's when they tell me about them is what I don't like. Maybe it's because I'm a prissy person.
Oh, like you go up to the
I go
counter
up there
with
like,
just-
like, do you want 2 for the deal? It's
Oh,
like, no,
that's
I
the
want
worst,
one.
because you
I
got-
don't. And listen, Pat, too rich. I don't care what it costs. I just want
I
one.
hate
I'm only
that.
buying one. If I wanted to, I would have brought 2 up. I see the deal there. It says it on every single door and every
I know.
single sign. If I wanted to buy 2, I would have 2 in my hands. I don't have 2. I have 1.
I know.
It's like when I buy a pack of cigarettes and they ask me if I want a lighter. It's like, no, I'm buying a pack of cigarettes. If I needed a
Tim,
lighter,
it's slightly
I would buy a
Because
lighter.
I will make that walk
How
of shame
come you don't
anytime.
make this complaint? How come you don't have this fervor for like the 2 McDonald's apple pies?
Because those
One
only
is-
happen
oh.
on occasion, Jeff. Plus, who's ever bought one apple pie?
Yeah, because like
come
one,
together.
2
They
is
come
10
together.
cents more than 1.
But they always come together as 2. Like I've never not. If I'm going to get one, I'm going to get 2. Like you barely
Dude,
taste
you
one.
can buy
you gotta
one.
buy 2
You
to
can
you
buy
actually
one.
taste it. It's a little different. I'm sure you could buy one, but like that's like eating half a popsicle. Like who does that? Like nobody does that. You just want one bottle because you're going somewhere, and yeah, you got to buy 2. And it's just like you got to buy 2 energy drinks, and like they're not going to both be cold because if you're going anyway. So it's like I know this seems small and nitpicky, but it bothers me to Kingdom Come.
But then there's the people. Think about the people that are 2. That are like, great, 1 for you, 1 for me. We're saving $1.
Well, but if the price was exactly the same, then you could buy 2, and they're no worse off than they were.
When I ordered a DC to my room in Europe, and this was pretty standard across Frankfurt.
Was it a Coca-Cola Light?
It was a whatever they call it. There's like their Coke Zero and Diet Coke are basically the same.
Oh.
But anyway, guess how much it was room service?
13 euro.
I was going to say €10.
€6 for like, and they don't have the cans; they have like the little bottles, like those ones behind you.
Oh my!
€6.
gracious.
You don't know. You're just like, yeah, just throw. I ordered room
I
service.
guess, but room service is
Yeah, but
funny
you
money
know-
to
you
begin
know
with, right?
it's
You're
gonna
not
be-
going to get.
I didn't think it was going to be $6.
You're not going to get
And
discounts.
it's not
when you do room-
$6. It's
€6. So that's
Six-
like $9.50.
an hour. It's like $7.50 American dollars.
Yeah, like $9.50 Canadian dollars. Like, but that's room service. You also know when you get room service.
I guess, but like a Diet Coke at Morton's will cost you probably like $4.
If you go to a steakhouse, you also know that you're going to spend way too much for stuff, but you know going in.
No,
Everything's
get
overpriced.
what
That's
you
okay.
want.
I just thought
Live life.
It was
Enjoy
more.
it.
It was more than I thought it would be like $4.
When I go to the gas station, I shouldn't have to feel obliged to buy more than I want of a thing. And it
Why
always.
don't you just you
it
have the
always happens.
pallets at home, pack heat on a cooler.
I already have lots.
Should I get you a car cooler?
No, I don't need a car cooler. I don't want that. I have a lot of supply at home. I'm on the go. I just want a bottle because I need a bottle for some
You
reason.
need a hit. You need like your Jones and
That's it. And I can't just get one. I have to buy 2. And these deals are on 24/7, 365.
But you could put the bottle like in your fridge at home.
Of course, and I do. It's not like I waste it, but it's like I didn't want to buy 2. I didn't want to spend $5.50. I wanted to spend $3 on a bottle. I didn't want to spend $5 on 2 bottles. Like, I know it's minor and it's small, but
I don't know, snacks and deals. I
but
don't
they're
know.
not deals if it's always happening. It's just the standard price at this point.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So
It's hard to
that's
argue against.
well, I'm sure it is.
It works for me on Monsters. I buy 3.
No, like I've never seen
Because you have to.
7-Eleven.
Second one that night, then I can't sleep.
Monsters are a great example. You got to buy who buys a monster? You can't. It'd be like
And I've
$4.50.
never been into 7-Eleven where that like 3 for like it's never not on ever.
It's always on. They're always on.
Yeah.
They're not deals. I mean, they are deals, but they're not deals. I want to buy one of something, and I don't think it should be as expensive as 2. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
You'd like if you went to like an NBA or a football game or anything now, you'd not be happy buying your soda.
I understand, but I understand that that's the price that it is.
That's cost doing business.
I understand. If I'm going to go to a Blue Jays game and get a beer, I know it's going to cost me like $18. I know that. I'm not happy about it. I'm not delighted to that, but I
Fair.
get that.
Yeah, it's different. You're right. It's not a fair
But
comp. You're right.
Yeah, but it's not the same. But it's not like 2 beer for $24 and 1 beer for $18. Like that's not the deal, right? Anyway, so that's been frustrating me.
Anything else?
Yes.
Oh.
Last week on the show, you guys had this inane conversation
Oh, about the gorilla.
about the gorillas, and it's so like give your head a shake. 100 average men
would win.
would win.
That's what I said.
100 times out of. They each weigh about 200 pounds. Multiply 200 by 100. They could just crush the gorilla if by all sitting on them. It doesn't take any strength. All it takes is bravery, because the first 20 to 25 me's are going to get torn apart. But the other 75 of me are going to dispatch the gorilla every time. All it takes is the courage of the first 25 me's to know. Like it's that it's like, I mean, what a friend of mine used to describe. People used to go over the wall when they during like siege warfare.
Got to build the wall.
The first 5 guys who go over the wall are going to get the hot oil poured on their face, right? But the next 10 guys are getting over the wall. Like the wall's not going to stop them. It's the same thing with the gorilla. The first 10 of me are going to get destroyed, but the next 85 of me are going to dispatch the gorilla. How is this even a conversation?
I didn't think it was appropriate for me. Like I'm playing dead, so I
no.
don't know how I could
100 of
weigh
you,
into
Jeffrey,
this.
would take care of the gorilla. 20 of you, maybe not, but 100 of you would take care of the gorilla.
100 is a lot of people.
100 grown men is a lot of people.
We need to get 100
but
people
an
at this live
average
show.
guy, the average male on Earth, I don't think is as big as you think it is.
No,
Let's say it was 100 people of my size then.
100 of you would easily dispatch you weigh as a collective 50 times more than the gorilla? 60
You just need
times
like
more than
6
the gorilla?
Brock Lesnar's in your group, in your pod.
No, you
and
don't.
you'll be
You just
fine.
need 100 average people. If the average man weighs 165 pounds, multiply that by 100. That's the gross weight of the people there. You could just crush the gorilla.
Let's do it.
I don't understand. Also,
Yeah.
don't tell me that a person can't fall onto grass
Oh my God.
and then be hurt.
You didn't say grass. You said AstroTurf for one thing.
We were at the President's Cup, and there was carpet down there. And I told you, I think a person could fall and not absolutely pass away.
What you talked about, potentially, because there was more. It wasn't the ground.
I could get hurt, yes. But I think the idea that you had no chance of
But
survival.
you'd be backboarded out of there, buddy.
My point was, you just assumed that.
I assumed
would
that,
be.
yes, if you fell 3 stories onto the ground, you'd probably die.
I don't think it was even 3 stories. It's like a story and a half.
From the top of the grandstands?
Yeah, where we were to where the
the bottom.
AstroTurf was.
I don't like this game.
Also,
Also, that wasn't AstroTurf. AstroTurf is concrete with a thin sheet of
like
carpet
carpet.
over it.
Also-
if you fall onto that, you will die.
conversely, another topic, also been bothering me since we talked about it last week. Don't tell me that you couldn't have a facility for rock climbing where the average person could go and get trained on rock climbing. These are not the elite It's a facility for people learning how to rock climb with assistance, and then you graduate from the facility. And then you have a party when you graduate from the facility, and you get to go to the real rock climbing place. And what it would allow people to do is to have the confidence to learn how to rock climb. You'd have experts there helping push you up, lift you up, show you the techniques. You'd belong to this club where you could only be there if you're at a remedial skill level. And then once you've graduated from there, you get to have a big party. People celebrate your success. You get to have a cake, and then you get to go on to the other rock climbing place. People would really enjoy that. I don't understand why you thought, not just you, other people in our group chat. So I realize that people listening to this have no
context
idea
of what you're
I'm talking about.
just
But this is a
talked
grievance that has been bothering me because we talked about it in a group chat. I think rock climbing looks like a lot of fun. I should backtrack here. Wind the clocks back. I think rock climbing looks like a lot of fun. But I also think at a high level, it's very, very difficult. So
Why are you acting like it's like a kiddie pool where you can then advance into like
hold on. Let me provide the context for this. I brought my kids rock climbing. There's a rock climbing facility in town. They are 6 and 4 years old. And they strap you in a harness and you climb up the wall. And Cust thought that's not beginner enough for him. He thinks you should be able to go to a rock climbing place where not only do you get the harness and go on the wall, someone will like actively push you up the wall.
Or there are machines that will like assist you. Yeah, like you push a button and it like lifts you up to the next level, and then you try to climb. And that happens over and over again until you develop the muscle memory and the strength and the skills in order to rock climb that level on your own. No. The point is like it's difficult.
But like, what are you talking about?
What am I talking? What I'm talking about is a facility where people at an amateur level who don't know how to rock climb would be given the assistance that they would need in order to develop the skills to become.
My 4-year-old got to the top of the wall.
As we discussed, it probably is a lot easier for a child because they're a lot lighter. So there's a lot less body mass that has to be lifted up onto the rock.
They're also 4. They don't really have fully developed motor skills.
They're also weak as shit.
Like, if I would like this facility and I could go and I could learn how to rock
the party.
But the party would be earned, right? You only get to have the party, and it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet and a cake, and they celebrate.
I don't think that's what they're going to be doing for you with the rock climb. It's about like health. They're not going to give you a pizza party.
It's to reward you for all the work that you did, and then you get to move on to the next facility, and that would be a lot of fun.
You need a gateway safe space to do anything. It's like the fucking starter gym for fat people.
Stop. That is such a mischaracterization of what I recommended. What I wanted, an hour a week at a gym where people who were out of shape could go and work out with other people in the same condition so they wouldn't feel embarrassed about going to the gym. You turn that into something very different, which is not what it was. This facility would be a rock climbing gym only for people at a certain subpar skill level.
The world isn't as scary as you're making it out.
Once you get good enough, you get to graduate from that facility and go to the regular rock climbing facility.
Well, they're going to lose all their
regular
so this is a business that is designed.
Beginners.
Yeah, but this business is designed to never exist once it teaches all the people.
There's always more people to come in the door that are not.
I'm sure most people don't need to go to the rock climbing gym to have someone boost them up.
If somebody saw me go to this facility, get good enough to climb, they would want to go to.
You could go to the rock climbing place and climb it. You're on a fucking harness.
They'll pull you up.
I need more than that. I need like the mechanical assistance.
More?
I need like mechanical assistance. My arms are not as strong as my legs. I can't lift myself up. Like
the rock climbing is more about your legs than your arms, though.
I'm sure it's both,
but it's mainly your legs.
Explaining a forklift or those wheelchair.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
Homes.
I'm thinking of the assisted pull-up machine, which of course they count, but the purpose of that machine is so that you get good and you have the right technique so that eventually you graduate from the assisted machine to not needing it.
You know what's better than
you have like a belay and a harness, and they can treat beginners.
I didn't realize that Geoff was Sir Edmund Hillary and he knew all the ins and outs of climbing. Tell me more.
No, because it takes going to one fucking kid's birthday party at one of these places, and I can see how a beginner can do it. They have instructors. They have smaller walls.
I need more help than that.
I don't think that you do.
I need a lot more help than this.
You should go try it, and you'd be shocked at how easy it is.
I think I would struggle mightily to begin with.
Yeah, then you keep trying. I have to tell the kids, too. You got to keep trying. If you fail...
Well, I'm trying to think of a way that it would be better.
What happens
next time Pat should bring you when he takes his 4-year-old?
We get up and try again.
We get up and try again.
That's a good movie. I don't care what anybody says. That's a good movie. They're all three of those movies are good movies.
The last one's not very good.
It's excellent.
The
It's
last
not-
one's no.
It is.
Dark Knight Returns is not good.
It is actually really good on rewatch.
It's not.
Like Tom Hardy is a fantastic character in that movie. I won't hear it. That's because you don't like Christopher Nolan movies. To be fair, you're very
that is a
don't like them.
mischaracterization.
You're right. You're just overly critical about Christopher Nolan.
No, I'm just not filleting the guy and saying that he's the greatest director of all time.
He's the greatest director of our
No,
generation.
he's not.
Yes, he
No,
is.
he's not.
All right, fine.
He's the best big budget director. I'll give you that. He's like fancy Michael Bay.
Oh, that's terrible to say that. No, he's not. He's better than that.
He is better than that. That's what I'm saying. He's fancy Michael Bay.
No, I mean, I like
Michael Bay.
I like Michael
we
Bay
were
too.
just talking about The Rock before we came on.
I like
The
Michael
Rock
Bay, too.
rules.
I
Like
like-
I like Michael
I
Bay.
like
movies.
Pearl Harbor too. That's a hot take, but I like
Pearl Harbor's a bad.
I like
movie.
Pearl
It's
Harbor.
a bad movie.
I talk about John Voight. I like John Voight in that movie.
You like John?
You like
Voight in Seinfeld?
Armageddon?
He's
Armageddon.
John Voight is funny, and he's even good in National Treasure. John Voight is pretty good in just about every movie he's in.
Bad dad.
Apparently so.
I hope you didn't exhaust all your topics. Live show June 7th. Get your tickets in the
And come,
description now.
because like it's never happening again. So like come. Or don't, but then don't complain. When are you going to do your next live show? We told you never. Sorry, never. Not in a year, not in 2 years, never. So come.
I got a quiz for you guys. Gregg Popovich retired,
Yes.
and he was the longest tenured coach in any of the four American. Although I don't like when people say the big four sports. Hockey is not one of the big four
Also, their
sports.
coaches last like 6 weeks before they get
So,
fired.
so here's my question. Now that Popovich is out, between the both of you, who is the longest tenured coach in one of the big four sports?
Tomlin.
That is correct.
Yeah, Tom. I was originally going to say, I wonder if Bruce Bochy is still with the Giants, but I don't think he is.
He has a big
No, he's
fucking
with
head.
Texas. He won a World Series with Texas 2
You're
years
right.
ago.
You're right.
Bruce
He did.
Bochy, big fucking head.
Yeah,
So,
Tomlin.
Yeah,
so
big
Tom-
head.
Tomlin's number one. There's two guys right after him, though.
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh is one of them,
Spolstra?
and Spolstra is the other one.
Oh yeah, Spolstra was
you guys
there
are
during.
good.
That's right. Spolstra was there during the Heat.
I thought this would be more difficult.
In the not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4 championship era for the Heat.
No, you know what, Pat? It's not as difficult as you think because there's truly, as Tim said, everyone else gets fired every 2 years. Like, there's not many people who are true, like, stalwarts. Then.
No, it's true.
Who do you think the longest baseball manager is right now?
Oh.
Former Blue Jay.
Former Blue Jay Craig Counsell.
Is he a coach?
He used to be a manager for the Brewers.
Kevin Cash has been the Rays manager
Oh,
since
okay, I had gotten
2014.
I wish I should have
Kevin
gotten that
Cash.
sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Cooper has been the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning
Yeah,
since 2013.
sure.
Wow, that's an extremely long tenure in the NHL.
Yeah, crazy.
And Oakland's men's basketball coach, Greg Camp, has been the longest of all of these coaches. He's coached the Golden Grizzlies since 1984.
I didn't realize that Boeheim was gone.
Oakland's men?
Like
Yeah,
Jim
he did
Boeheim
leave.
from
He
Syracuse.
left like 5 years ago, didn't
Did
he?
he leave Syracuse that long ago?
Isn't he dead now?
The Orange. haven't been
Everyone's
good for a
like
few
gone.
years. Like,
Everyone's
Bill Self
gone.
has been around for a very long time with Kansas.
Yeah, but he replaced who?
Roy Williams in like 2007, 2008.
Yeah, but this guy's been there since 1984.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Before,
Like,
I,
I don't
before I was
think-
born, he's been their coach.
Yeah. that's
Who
fair.
is like the legendary? I mean, I don't know enough about college basketball. I guess Patino's now back.
Yeah, but Patino's
like,
been with 15 different schools.
Izzo's the longest running like major head.
Oh yeah,
Ni-
Izzo
ni-
for
90
sure. And who is
95.
like the?
Yeah, Izzo.
Who are the active? I'm sure.
No,
people will laugh
Krzyzewski's
at
not
me.
active anymore.
Yeah, but so who are the active like college football legendary coaches?
They all seem to
Who
move
are
now.
they?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Who even would they be? I'm trying to think of a single school with a long time. I mean, even Saban wasn't
Like
that long.
Dabo, but
Di-
like Dabo's not even an old man. It feels
No.
like. And Clemson's kind of-
Isn't Dabo at USC?
No, Dabo's at Clemson.
No,
Who's
that's
the guy at USC?
that's the guy from Oklahoma.
Yeah. No, it's not him though. Yeah.
Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
He was at Oklahoma, yeah, for a long time.
he's
Bob Stoops.
gone.
He is
But
gone.
now I forget the guy at
But
USC's name. I
Bob
feel
Stoops
like an
is,
idiot.
Bob Stoops has been Kentucky's head coach since 2012.
Who is the guy at oh, I feel so dumb for not knowing it. Not for not knowing the USC coach.
Kirk Fernez has been
Fer-
Iowa's
Kirk
coach.
Ferentz has
Kirk
been at Iowa
Ferentz,
for a
yeah.
long time. Yeah.
24 years. Mike Gundy, 19 years.
At Oklahoma
Yeah,
State.
James James Franklin's been at Penn State forever.
Yeah.
Kyle-
Not forever, maybe 12 years.
Kyle Whittingham,
Okay,
19
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Utah?
Yeah. Troy Calhoun's been at Air Force for 17. Nick Saban, 17 years at Alabama.
Of course, gone now.
Then
but
gone.
I have to Google the USC coach name. It's now bothering me.
No, it's Mark Stoops, who's been at Kentucky for
I
a
was going to say, I didn't think that, yeah.
Bob Stoops coached him on those like UFLs or XFLs recently, I think.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley. That's
Lincoln
That's
Riley.
right.
Yeah.
wow. I'm like old and forgetting things.
Did you see the Popovich press conference?
I did not.
Yeah, it was touching. I did.
Yeah, people were saying it's like, oh man, like he's hurting. It's like he's a 75-year-old man who just had a stroke.
I think he's 80. Is he
He's
not?
75, I believe.
75.
He just had a stroke. Like, what sort of condition do you expect a
And
guy
like
to be in?
has achieved everything you could imagine in basketball, like gold medal and 5 championships.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
5. 03, 05, 07. Oh, maybe it's just and 13. Maybe it's just 4.
I thought it was 4.
No, and 99.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
99, 03, 05, 07, and 2013. 2014, sorry.
Are you going to drive my car?
No.
Yeah, I need you to drive it for like 30 seconds.
Why?
Because I need you to see what it's like to drive my car.
I'm afraid to.
Why are you afraid to?
Because I'm afraid. That's why.
New cars are easier to drive than other cars.
I mean, I don't know why I need to drive your car.
Jeff, what year is like your newest car?
My wife's car is like 2 years old.
Does it have the projected odometer in directions?
Projected.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like the screens are fancy.
Does it project ways for you?
Yeah,
For him.
for him. Yeah, you don't need to check your phone. It's on.
You don't have to figure out what
It's
the green sign
but,
says.
but it's not on the screen. It's on your windshield, like when you're driving.
I don't know if I like that.
That's why I want you to drive it. I want you to check it
I
out.
don't
I was
like
dubious at first as well, and now I love it.
Mm,
It's great.
I don't know if I like that.
Like you think it would be in your way when you're
It would
driving.
be distracting, I think.
It's not, but like it has your speed, and if you program in where you're going, it'll give you like up to the second directions of where you need to go. You never need to look down again.
I guess.
Find that a bit terrifying.
A little bit. I don't know if I need to be driving your car.
You don't have to drive it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Butts is going to drive it for half the trip.
Well, he likes to drive your car.
And it's a new car.
Yeah, that scares me too. I would rather just sit in the back and have a rest.
Sometimes you got to do something.
Sure. Yeah, what do I do? Nothing. Okay, fine.
You just said you did. You said you want to sit in the back and rest.
I would like to sit in the back and rest. Yes, I would.
Well, the rest of us do everything else.
Drive your vehicle. Everything else. Drive your vehicle.
Well, I'm going to be driving and picking everyone up. He booked all the places. You're showing up.
Yeah.
You got the good life.
That's a lot of work for me.
You got the sweet life. All you're ever asked to do is show up.
And that's enough work for me. I once tried, folks. I once tried and was pilloried for trying. So as far as I'm concerned, if my judgment isn't good enough, then why should I?
Jeff, Cust booked us into a crack den in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That is it's a night of overreactions and exaggerations, apparently.
It was not. It was not an overreaction.
It didn't have a
It was a
curtain.
crack den.
It didn't have a curtain and a light was shining in, and that was frustrating.
It was the cheapest hotel you could find.
It was, I don't know if it was the cheapest. I didn't like go on to the Google and say cheapest hotel.
Is it like an actual motel?
Yes, it was $60 per night and there was 4 of us in a room.
Can you like drive up to your door?
Yes.
Yeah, but this,
Then that fucked him. Come on, man.
I was asked to procure a hotel room in very close proximity to the airport, which I did. I looked for the closest one and I picked that. But that wasn't good enough. No, apparently I had to put it through quality control before I picked. So you know what? If my judgment's not good enough, that's fine. I can accept that. Let somebody else do it so I don't get yelled at.
Brought them somewhere with an hourly rate, bro.
No, again, over-exaggerated. It was fine. Come on.
The hourly rate place probably would have been more expensive than the place that we went to.
This is why I don't book things. Because I can't be
Because you
trusted,
didn't do it
apparently.
once? Maybe you could put it. You put pride into everything except for that. Where we're going to stay.
I picked the closest place to the airport, which is what I was asked to do.
We didn't say the closest place to
Yes,
the airport.
I was told find us a place as close
Near
to the
the
airport as
airport.
you can. So I found it.
You know what? There was like 20 other hotels around. Some of them were nice.
It wasn't expensive, and it was fine.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It sure was not
It was
expensive.
fine. It was fine.
I was reading a Reddit theory about Pulp Fiction,
Okay.
and it had not occurred to me, and I don't think that it's necessarily true, but it makes a lot of sense. When Marcellus asks Vincent Vega to take out his wife, What if Marcellus meant kill my wife, not take her out? Because he leaves town.
But it never gets mentioned or implied.
No, but Jules, like, he goes, take out like this? Like, the first thing Jules thought of was kill his wife.
Because he's a hitman.
And so is Vincent Vega.
I guess.
That he didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, his character is a dummy. That's part of his, like, character development is that he's not particularly bright. I don't know. I
just thought it was a very interesting way
I just
to
feel
think
like
about it.
Marcellus would have reacted in a particular way. And I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
he almost did.
I think Marcellus's reaction. I mean, well, that would have been the perfect cover.
Yeah, I guess it would have been. Interesting. That had never occurred to me.
I haven't watched Pulp Fiction in a while.
I probably haven't watched it in 10 years. I mean,
He
I've
used
seen
to
it shot for shot.
He used to just like come on TV.
Yeah, it
all
did.
the time.
I mean, I can probably close my eyes and quote line for line many parts of it, but it's a great film.
Do you think it's losing its luster over the years or gaining in esteem?
Neither. I think it continues to be, a very well-respected, watchable movie.
But I worry about that. There's going to be, because I mean, obviously it happened with, like, unless you were really into movies like I was, all the big 70s movies just would have not been watched by people who were my age. Like, you wouldn't have saw The French Connection.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. Jeff, have you seen The French Connection?
I have.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
French Connection's a fantastic movie.
I agree, but there's just a lot of movies from the 70s that a lot of people my age, being born in the 80s, just didn't see because they were all adult themed by the time you got to 1998.
The director died last year of that, I think.
Was it Frankenheimer?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, I feel like anybody who was born in the 80s would have been shown by their parents good movies from the 70s.
Maybe, but
That's what happened to me.
Your parents only show you so much. You would have saw
the good stuff.
but not necessarily the good stuff. You would have saw kid stuff. You would have saw Star Wars.
Well, I did see that
You
stuff.
would have saw, and even just something.
Jaws.
You really shouldn't be showing kids.
Close
Jaws.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
I was thinking more like E.T.
Well, E.T.'s an 80s movie.
Sure, but I'm thinking more of those style, like the ones
Indiana Jones.
which is 80s.
Yeah.
So like all the Star Wars, all the Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, like those sorts of ones. But, it's not like you're sitting your kid down to watch Apocalypse Now.
The horror.
It would be the horror.
The horror. That's a great movie, too.
Agreed. But in order to go back, you have to have some sort of active interest in this stuff to find out.
Yeah, you
some
have
of
to
these
actually
movies.
like films to want to watch. Like, my dad did not sit me down to watch The Deer Hunter.
No.
That did not happen.
Which no one should be subjected
Well,
to have to
it's
watch
just
the fucking Deer
it's a
Hunter.
fantastic film.
It's like
but
the worst movie ever made.
It's because you don't have an attention span.
No, it's
anymore.
because it's fucking boring and nothing happens.
It's
you know what
it's
happens?
building tension.
It gets to the tension.
It does.
You can go watch the DT Mao clip on YouTube, and you've seen the whole fucking movie.
I've seen the whole movie.
You've seen the whole movie. Anything
is-
that matters in that movie, you've seen. You don't need to see the 45-minute wedding scene.
What about when they all come back?
Oh, it's great.
Okay, well,
Ugh.
I have more respect for that film.
The
than
movie's
you do.
awful. It's truly horrendous.
It's not. Okay,
It's
hold
un-
on. It's not horrendous.
It's unwatchable.
It's one of the best
It's-
10 movies in the 1970s.
That's
It
not
is.
true. It's one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh my goodness.
It's horrible. Apocalypse Now is so much better than The Deer Hunter.
I agree with that.
It's not even particularly
I
close.
agree with that statement.
But what are the movies from, like, Pulp Fiction's going to be one of the ones?
Shawshank Redemption.
I don't know.
That's a 90s movie that people of a certain age love, but like, are your kids going to watch Shawshank Redemption?
I don't know. I would say
How
it's...
old would you want your kids to be to watch Shawshank Redemption? Like, I probably saw it when I was like 10.
Yeah, but you can. I mean, especially the TV version where the sisters don't get to Andy.
I was probably younger than 10. I was probably like 8 or 9. It was on VHS at my grandmother's, and I watched it.
See, I used to just go to my dad. My dad would just show me like rated R movies when I was 7.
That movie's not rated R, is it?
Shawshank? There's like male rape in it. The movie ends with spoiler alert for Shawshank. Brooks hangs himself.
That's not how that movie ends. The movie ends with the
Well, no,
warden shooting himself.
that's what's that? Yeah, the warden shoots himself
in the head.
Brooks hangs himself. Andy gets raped in the shower.
But you don't see. I mean, because it's like you don't see terribly graphic things.
It's still happening. In the movie.
Those horrible things happen. You're right, but okay.
I think.
So you're saying you wouldn't show your kids that movie?
I mean, if they want to watch it, sure. Like I like Shawshank.
I think it's a great movie.
It's not like I would show them Pulp Fiction first.
I do not agree. I think Pulp Fiction is a very complicated movie to understand. If you haven't been watching, you want to talk about scenes.
Listen, if you want to expose kids, you should show them the GIMP.
Not only is that incredibly, that whole plot line is terribly graphic.
That
but
you see male rape there too. Rated R.
Yes, you like. that also like that's a hard movie to watch initially because you don't quite know what the order of things are. Like, so I wouldn't like show somebody who's 10 that movie or 12 that movie. You'd wait till they're like old enough to be able to understand time change and stuff like that.
So Memento's out then too.
Well, yeah, Memento, Mulholland Drive.
Well, I mean, I just got Davis into Mulholland Drive. We did a podcast
Not
on
that
it.
great of a movie.
Mulholland Drive. You think Deer Hunter is good and don't think Mulholland Drive is good? What's the fuck wrong with
That
you?
is what I said.
That is crazy
Okay.
talk.
I'm trying to think of other like mid 90s movies.
Yeah, like,
that
what do you
were
think?
excellent.
Like, what is it? Like, what are the movies you're going to show your kids from like your
LA
childhood?
Confidential.
Sure.
I mean, that's also a rated R movie. Like, I can't wait to show my kids Boogie Nights, but it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, Major League.
Yeah, I think Major League's Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I got shown Caddyshack as a kid.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Mighty
That's
Ducks.
one to see.
Yeah,
Mighty Ducks. For
Mighty,
sure.
I probably just show him D2. D2 is better than D1.
I agree that D2 is better than D1.
But like, we watched Airplane so many times when I was growing up. I probably still show my kids Airplane.
Naked Gun.
Yeah. I mean, I like Airplane more than Naked Gun.
Anchorman.
Yeah, Anchorman would probably
That
be
could
one.
be 2000s though,
Well,
right?
not could be.
Yeah,
it
but I
is.
mean, that's still a part. Like, we were what, like 17 when that came out?
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Paddle shows kids Boogie Nights.
Die Hards. All the Die Hards.
Die Hards.
Yeah, maybe the original Die Hard.
I think the first,
Yeah,
second, and the
for
third
sure.
one are good.
They're fine, but they're just not as good as the first one.
I think the third one is almost as good.
I remember my
I think
dad showed
Jeremy
me.
Irons.
My dad showed me T2 when I was 7.
T2
But, like
is
my
not
wife
good.
will definitely.
T2 was.
watch, like,
What, you say
Clueless.
T2 was not? So
I think the first Terminator is better.
You're pro Deer Hunter, but Terminator 2 is not a good movie.
I think the first Terminator is so much better.
It's not true.
Okay.
No, that's wrong, Tim.
Okay. Well, that's what I think.
For
But I also
girls,
like
think
Alien, and I
Clueless-
don't like Aliens.
I
I
mean,
think Clueless would be big for girls.
I think Clueless would be big for anyone.
anyone.
Clueless rules.
Clueless is a funny movie.
Yeah,
I mean, we could just look at The Wall.
yeah, that's true.
Hot Rod.
Maybe not.
I think more people. just-
Lebowski? No, Lebowski is a movie.
That's what I want to be showing my 10-year-old. The guy
I don't know
has
how Lebowski is any less troubling than Pulp Fiction.
Well, no, I'm not going to show the 10-year-old Pulp Fiction, but I'm just saying that like there's a lot going on in Pulp Fiction. There's a lot more going on in Lebowski.
Young Frankenstein?
Yeah, all the Mel Brooks
There's a-
movies kind of work.
Not at a certain age level. You gotta.
I mean, Blazing Saddles probably doesn't work for a 9-year-old,
No.
but
maybe not the
it does.
producers either.
Why not?
Well, because you just have to actually understand the context of what's going on.
Maybe it's a great way to teach World War II.
I suppose
We're losing Geoff, so we should probably.
we are.
Great Escape. I would show my kids.
The Great Escape is excellent, as is the,
Other
as is the Dirty
McQueen
Dozen.
movies.
Yeah.
Those Michael Bay movies might actually work too. Face Off. and the car goes. Just show some Mel Gibson movies. I rewatched Braveheart
I
recently.
liked Braveheart.
Not good.
I remember Richard Harris being excellent in Braveheart
Here's the thing.
as Longshanks.
We all know what Mel Gibson's best movie is. And it's Apocalypto, and it's not close.
I think you say, what's the one that?
The Man Without a Face.
No.
What Women Want. 'Cause
Yeah, that's actually a good.
Yeah, but that's not a Mel Gibson movie.
It's a movie with Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
in
but
it.
I'm talking about Mel Gibson directed.
I mean,
movies.
what about Lethal Weapon?
That's not a Mel Gibson
But-
directed movie.
I suppose. Would you show your kids Lethal Weapon? That a movie that has
I'd
lasting power?
probably show them Beverly Hills Cop or 48 Hours first.
Okay.
I like those movies better. It's like
Apocalypto is a very, very good movie. So I don't want to.
it's the best version of all of those Mel Gibson movies.
Yeah, I think that's a really good movie.
Also, not one you want to show a kid though.
No, definitely not.
Lot-
Not one I would want to show anybody, actually. If you want to watch it on your own, go. I don't want to watch it with you. It's, again, a one and done. I've seen it. I know what's going to happen. I
Hey,
don't
you
need-
watched Twin Peaks Fire Walk with me that time.
That was such a confusing movie.
It's a very disturbing movie too.
That and the third season of Twin Peaks was very disturbing.
I liked the third.
Doesn't
season of
mean
Twin
it
Peaks.
wasn't disturbing
No, it was very much
and
was.
hard to understand at times. And like people just sweeping a floor for 10 minutes. Now I'm supposed to read the silences of the sweeping to understand. Like, all right, come on. Like
It sounds like a fish song.
it was like a fish song.
Oh my god!
Those
You're
people,
making
the
me,
people
like,
who got
watch
it,
a guy
got it.
sweep a making me watch a guy sweep a floor for 10 minutes.
It wasn't
Like-
sweeping a floor for 10 minutes. It was a
It's
guy.
like
It
3
was a
minutes.
guy sweeping a floor over the credits.
It just kept going and
Well,
going
it was the
and
credits.
going
It can only
and
last
going.
as long as the
There
credits.
was
went.
no reason for me to watch that.
Okay, well, that was a bad that was a bad representation.
It felt like an hour.
Geoff, a guy that I went to school with just started a Dave Matthews podcast.
I listened to that 20 years ago.
You listen, yeah,
Please, it's in your feed now.
yeah, it's in your wheelhouse. You probably are. You're probably the
I
one
listened
listener.
to no, not a chance. I couldn't tell you the last time I listened to it.
But it's about going to see Dave Matthews in concert like 10 times a year.
Oh,
And like reviews of each show.
listen, I had a
it comes with a
couple,
gun. It comes with a gun and a bullet.
Could not imagine.
All right. That'll do it for us. I want to get out of here. And maybe we'll stick around, do 10 minutes on a PGA Championship draft for later in the week.
Sure.
That'll work for us. So tune into that later on in the week as well. Full PGA Championship coverage. Smash the like while you're here. Use code Mayo at Underdog and buy them tickets to the live show June 7th down in the description right now. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience. Experience.